Hello guys, and welcome to the first video within the UBC League. For this match we have chosen the final from the first Ultimate Bowler ever. It's a unique league where two teams with specific mentors have joined up and battled out, and we're down to just two teams. The Big Red Machine, which is Bubs, and we got Tector with the Meat Puppets. With me on this commentary, we got three legendary coaches. We got Comfort Eagle, we got Havol, and we got Kaiser. So how are you guys doing?
Doing very well, thank you.
Yeah,
Looking
great,
forward to
thanks.
it.
Doing well.
So what do you guys think about this setup of leagues?
Well, I enjoy how it's a break from the traditional format in that it's still a league of sorts, but it doesn't follow like the regular match day rules, and it encourages rivalry and a little bit more trash talk.
Yeah, very big fan of this. The ability also, the whole trash talk thing, you know, I've taken it probably a step way too far, as I normally do with things, but yeah, whatever.
So, in the initial setup, what I don't necessarily like about Tector's defense is that he's shielding his dirty player, which I think he should just be left out to absorb a hit from potentially one of the flesh golems instead. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, but if you've got the dirty player being hit, then when he gets up, he's going to be in base contact and he won't be able to move to where he needs to do his foul, I would say. So I can see the point why he might be protecting it.
Quick snap, that's a pretty good result. Let's coach Bubs get in place a little bit, you know. I like that he's got his guard stuck in. It's exactly where it needs to be. Some cover up the ball a little bit. Immediately piles on. It's great.
Yeah.
What I like about that quick snap for Bubsky is that he doesn't need to really bring players back to cover up the ball or anything like that. So it's good. It's good.
I tend to not use pylon if I don't get the armor break though. I really only use pylon for re-rolling an injury if I get a stunned, you know. Especially because he hasn't got a jumper.
Get ready.
Nice pickup. He's covered well.
Yeah.
So.
No need to do too much there. The Wolves aren't necessarily threatening right now, and he hasn't left really anyone out that he can the Tector can start to pick off.
Very lucky dog.
That's great. That's great. Why not? Why not, right?
Yeah. And then go to the well one too many times. Yeah. I'm sure it was a misclick. Had to be.
Yeah, so this is, I think, where Bubs is going to decide which side he's going to start attacking first. Hitting that flesh golem, fine, but see, that's good. That's good that Bubs didn't follow up and kind of pile on there.
Yeah.
Bubs, because he would have gotten a right boot to the face. Or at least he should have. And that's what we do, right, fellas?
Always.
So now this is where I think Kaiser will have an opinion. We're doing the classic cage up, which I personally love.
I
but I know
loathe them. I hate them. I can't stand
I know.
cages.
Now, why don't you talk us through? Because this seems like a pretty standard tactic for most bash type teams.
Well, I look at it like this. When I'm playing, I like playing against someone that does cage up. Because for me, I look at it like, well, they've got 5 players that don't want to be in base contact with me for a bash team. Which means it's 6 of his players, the remaining 6, against my 11. So I can now pick apart the rest of his team while just slowing up a cage.
I agree with that.
I think it takes too many players away from, especially if you are a bash team, you're taking the majority of your players away from getting in contact and punching the crap out of someone. So,
That's
not a fan.
That's very valid. I think that's why I choose to play elves most of the time. It's just a screen, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Screening is far much better, and you can also. You're also, with a cage, you're centralising a lot of players in one area, where with a screen you can spread it out a bit more and change directions with your teams.
Yeah, and that is very important.
Where once you cage, you're kind of committed to going that direction, and unless you're really good at caging, and you don't see much of it, where cage players can go from one cage leapfrogging to another.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I say you're with an experienced cage player. But a lot of people, they'll keep that original cage for the most part and try to move that. And,
So I would have thought a static cage would be good for something like a bashy orc team, which does want to, in some ways, stall until almost the end for the 2-1 grind. Lizards perhaps use a lot more lateral movement. And has the ability to move from left to right because they can.
yes.
Oh, that was a great KO right there. That's going to be big.
I'm not against a cage being used like for a turn or two to hold position, but certainly not for the majority of your drive.
Good reroll. Good reroll. Look at that. Great injury.
He's using a lot of red dice and zombie dodging. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was great. That was a really fortunate injury roll and armor break. I mean, 3 6s, if not mistaken, on that whole sequence. That's great.
Yeah.
Really fortunate. And he's got that golem stuck in. Big Red Machine had a pretty lucky bounce, brought the ball back into a little bit of safety. What I see a lot of Necro coaches do, though, is they're a little bit more aggressive with their wolves. Right now, Tector is content on letting the golems and the whites and the zombies do a lot of the dirty work. That's good. I applaud him for that. But
Yeah, I do like his patience with the wolves, especially that they haven't got dodge yet. So
yeah, certainly.
you know, I'm not a big fan of risking them because they
Good
are
answer.
a hard target.
It's a great KO. So if Bubs isn't careful, though, this is where he's going to start to lose some of his players because of movement. The Black Orc blocker on the right-hand side, on Tector's right-hand side, and the Troll are in at risk of being left behind. Don't know about the reroll there. It worked out, but oh, I apologize. One thing you gotta love about those Necro is that they can, with the wolves and the whites and the ghouls, which Tector left his ghoul on. Well, looks like that's his ball carrier. They can reposition without too much trouble.
Yeah.
Only 2 assists against that 89. Oh wow,
That's
fantastic.
That's brutal.
That's a great roll. 2 10s back to back.
Now got a reserve player.
Yeah, that's absolute. Even if this bribe would have failed, that would have been a good trade-off. Oh, another zombie dodge. That's great.
You don't want to get used to that too much.
And
No.
by great, do you mean fucking lucky?
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's killing me, man. He took me out the same way in the quarterfinals.
See, and this is what I was referring to earlier. So he's Bubs is in big danger of being of having his team cut off from support. I mean, yeah, the Black Orc made the block there, but all these golems have to do is just kind of get in the way, and then his team's cut in half, or at least in 3/4, and it's going to be much easier for Tector to press the advantage.
Tactically, I suspect he's picked a side too early. I'm not sure if he had a great deal of choice with the stand firm golems, but staying towards the middle of the pitch might have given him a few more options here.
I agree.
Totally agree. He's starting to be pinned against the sideline, and again, you know, though he's losing players quickly, the cage doesn't help that sort of situation.
In this instance, I would almost advocate for Bubs to reform instead of taking that 3/4 cage against the sideline. Maybe just take his free players after knocking down the golem, of course, and just bring kind of resetting a little bit. I was talking to another coach yesterday, and I was telling the coach, just look, on your drive, your main priority is to try and score. When that starts to go south, the next thing that you want to do is protect your opponent from scoring themselves. And this is where I think Bubs finds himself. It's just a spot where he needs to protect the score. One die blocks, zombie dodges. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I were Bubs, I mean, this is where I would also pick to. You have to score here. there's
Yeah.
has to make that attempt, and at least he has a reroll in hand. So hey, good luck to him. Although I think with the way that the dice have been working out, I think I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, really. That orc needed to be a zombie to get through that.
Yeah, brutal. I was thinking to myself, man, that's just a 3+. 67% chance with reroll. Hey, I got this. And then, of course, more often than not, my human catchers fail it. Let me down.
He's going to do the old chain push.
Yeah.
Drive players out now.
It's a great tactic. And even though I understand the Bubs needed to push his players to the side and make room for that potential touchdown, this is what could happen on the other end, if something like that fails. So always have to keep that in mind. It's a good thing that he's armor value 9, however.
I think Bubs went one turn too early.
Interesting. What makes you say that?
Well, he's still got one turn left, and unless he's banking on getting some KOs back, I think he could have done better by trying to base up with his strength 4 players and his strength 3s and hope the 1-die blocks work well in his turn 8. He may still have to do the blitzer dodge into the end zone, but you give yourself every opportunity.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, okay. For Bubs, I guess should be fortunate that that player got sent off, because his armor rolls are outstanding.
I don't think it was wrong of him to go that turn earlier to try to score. I don't think he had the players. I think his semi-cage was collapsing quickly, and I think if he had waited till the last turn, he would have not even got that close to the ball.
Yeah, fair call.
As in to score. But, I mean, yeah, maybe if he'd concentrated on hitting a bit more, I don't know. It's hard to say.
So, gentlemen, what are we looking at going into second half?
The dice have not been kind to one of the players, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know that I'd say that. I would just say that Tector has had hotter dice, but not necessarily that the dice have really been unkind to Bubs. Yeah. Just hasn't been as fortunate with some of his rolls. And I don't know that I would risk that right there. Even, well, his bench is all right. Something could have gone even more wrong. I'm more conservative.
Yeah. He loves dodging with those zombies.
And it's worked out for him. Yeah, so I think in this half, Bubs just needs to regroup, do as best he can, try and not let either of the wolves or the ghoul get around him, keep everybody in front, and maybe like Comfort said, uses strength players to soak up some more of Tector's players and create one-on-one dice situations. Now, of course, it's going to depend on what Tector's Claw has to say about that. So on Tector's setup again, I don't know I question putting zombies that far back. I don't mind them in the middle, but what's he I would rather the zombies out on each side and the werewolves back to give them a little bit of protection from. And granted, Bubs is set up pretty far back, so we can't really do too much with the blitz or anything. But I just have issue with that setup.
Yeah, that back zombie is he can only get to the line of scrimmage, so I don't see the point of him that deep.
Well, at least that player's still on from that rock, so
Yeah.
Jeez, Tector's had all the luck so far. He's had all the rolls. And that's smart. Send a player immediately to cover up the ball just in case. Just in case. Especially if he's gonna, start blocking with skillless players.
Yeah, I don't understand that, why he doesn't use... I mean, he's going to use, obviously... Oh, no, he isn't. I thought he'd use the white to hit the troll, but...
Well, I think I would have done something different instead of... So if Tector presents this to me, and I have my entire team... I mean, granted, he's got 3 players that are stunned, which is very well done. But that wolf, which doesn't have blodge or anything like that, is kind of left out there for me to do something nasty to.
Oh, absolutely. You'd have to go up and rape it.
He's got to pay.
Really punish it. And now with the zombie, at least there was a zombie, covering one side. Now that's off. That
Right.
wolf is there to be bashed. I would just punish it. I'd hit it across on an angle.
Absolutely.
And I would foul it.
And I would not push him there in between both those golems. I would have pushed him over to the side. You're right. And then I would have risked dropping a boot with one of my blitzers or my black orc blocker or something, just to let him know, hey man, look, I can play this sort of game as well. And who knows if Nuffle shines on him enough, he could send that wolf packing, and that would definitely even a lot of the odds. Because right now, Bubs is in a bad way. See, and then the wolf just escapes with nothing.
I tend not to foul as many regen type players because it's almost pointless. You can get your guy sent off and they regen back, but I do agree that you'd have to foul that wolf. And
there are certain players. There are certain players that you always have to foul.
Yeah.
You get a war dancer on the ground, you gotta foul the war dancer. You get a,
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting that he would take that Bubs would take the both down and hope that his mighty blow did something other than yeah. I'm a little bit ahead. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Getting excited here.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, but I don't know why he would blitz with a prone troll when he hasn't really even spread out his defense or done anything else. I mean, there are softer targets than that skill-less.
He did not adjust the rest of the team, and now he's left that whole sideline open.
He's gonna pay, absolutely. Make him pay.
I'd question using the big guy to blitz at all unless you're a bloodthirster.
No, that's very true. Or you have block or something, but
unless you absolutely needed to, because that was a zombie he might have been able to hurt. I don't know if it would have got him anywhere nearer the cage.
Well, I mean, he stunned the zombie, and that's good, I guess. But I mean,
it's a zombie.
Exactly. And I think Tector also made a poor decision in splitting up the golems and then running away from both of them, or from at least one of them. It's going to split up his team again, even though he he has the clear advantage here. He's doing great in. Bubs is falling into the golem trap in that you want to try and knock these golems down, but with their stand firm, they're not going to go anywhere. So they're going to tie up multiple players, and unless you break armor or do something, they're just going to be a pain in your backside. And it's great here that zombie tying up that 40k zombie tying up that 110k troll. You know, just
Oh,
how you got to do it.
That's one of my favourite things about zombies. I don't call them zombies, I call them glue. I just use them to hold other players.
I wouldn't want his job, seriously. Someone's got to mind the troll, but damn.
Yeah, it can be a rough job, but I mean, it's why on a double I take stand firm on a zombie rather than say guard, because I find my play style it tends to work better. But you know, most people are always going to go the guard. But
I think it's interesting how Bubs decided to crowd the cage as well, because he only crowded a cage corner. He didn't really spread his black orc blockers around two sides of the cage. Just really crowded that white and by default that werewolf. Don't know that that's going to get him very far.
no.
So put yourself in Tector's shoes. Do you score now or do you hold out?
I wait to see what happens on this block.
I would drag it out. Yeah, I would hold off.
But you can still sideline cage / screen. So yeah, I agree. I agree. Still got 3 rerolls. Yeah. Yeah, see. Just dodge these guys out. However, I would not leave the wolf exposed where he is, and then I probably would not take that 1-die blitz. Just in case, what if that white, rolls a bolt down and he doesn't get anywhere? Not even knocking anybody down. But look, it worked out for him. He's definitely had the dice this match up to this point.
I probably would have moved that white more towards the centre of the field. But I'm more concerned about players getting around in front of the cage, though there's little chance of that. See, I don't like the idea of attacking the back of the cage. I don't see the point. Screen.
I agree. See, and then that golem sucked in that lineman that was minding the troll. He's committed 3 players. Bubs has committed 3 players to that. He's making what I think would be rookie mistakes.
Yeah. I think he could stall one more turn as well.
Oh, he probably can. I do not fault him. I think though, instead of the white blitz, I would, of course, try and blitz with the wolf, and just make sure that I attack from a certain direction where I can follow up with another 2-dice block, and I may have to base that black orc blocker. But hey, look, a score's a score, right? Take him when you can get him, right? Comfort.
Well, Orcs can score in 3. They have the move 6 players. At least if you had done what you suggested and stalled for another turn, I think Kaiser said just to stall out one more, you'd force GFIs at least. But Orcs can do it in 3 pretty comfortably.
Now, with the way that let's say you were Tector, with the way that you're rolling, would you throw caution to the wind and just do it, or would you try and stall?
Yeah, no, I think I'd set up a decent screen around a side cage and stall it for another turn or 2.
Yeah,
he had 3 players tied up with that flesh golem, so, and a numbers advantage anyway. This is the playoff game. This is the finals, right?
This is the final game.
Yeah, no
Go
stuff
big or
around
go
here.
home.
Yeah, exactly. Got to let it all hang out now. So.
Again, shielding that skillless zombie. I guess when you find something that you like, you need to change it, right?
Yeah. And now he's let him. Well, he's going for the old elf tactic, just flood the backfield.
Yeah. Well, you have to give yourself an opportunity, and I don't disagree with him here.
If he is going to flood the backfield, you do the elf thing, don't you? You got to spread them out a little bit, because at the moment, one flesh golem could tie up both.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
Without trying too hard. But yeah, I mean, live and learn. Live and learn. But yes. I don't like that blitz. Bubs just allowed that one zombie free, and that gives Tector more flexibility.
Yeah, he's also hasn't got someone next to the troll now, so
Yeah. I think I would try and base who I can with the zombies. Yep, and then maybe not go around. Oh, that's unfortunate. But it's about time the Tector failed that go for it. Of course.
But you're right. I mean, that's where he failed to man up with the other players. Like, he didn't use the werewolf or the. I don't understand that move at all, to be honest.
It didn't base anyone. Well, I mean, hey, got to make a game of it too, I suppose. Maybe this was too easy for Tector, and he wanted to give himself.
He handicapped himself. See, there he had to move the Black Orc into position for the troll. Okay, so he's screening off. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of a possible Hail Mary throw there. Let's see. And lovely.
I don't know. It's about time the Nuffle shined on Bubs' dice.
Yeah, I think he was saving it all up for that one drive.
So in this next setup, what I would be curious to see is it Bubs leaves his players bunched up so that Tector can try the one-turn touchdown, which it looks like he did. And oh,
Yeah, but he's driven driven all of them back, doing the old. I'm not really a fan of that either, to stop a one-turn touchdown.
You'd say to set up for it?
Well, I mean, I think that when you set up defensively, when you're kicking like that, you're giving more opportunity for that one touchdown to work.
Well, absolutely. For that setup, I think what would have been best for Bubs to do is at least spread his players out. By bunching all three of them together, it just makes it that much easier. Now he got bailed out a little bit by the pitch invasion. No, but I don't think that Tector was really set up well for that. I think he's just going to try and cause as much damage as he can, and
go to overtime. And
yeah, I mean, well, and I don't know that that's necessarily terrible, but I think I would have tried for a one.
Yeah, the troll going down, being stunned was rough, and then yeah. It's good to see those fouls are starting to not pay off too.
Oh yeah, there's nothing that drives me more insane than just seeing a coach just foul with abandon and not get sent off. It's just whether they break armor or not. It's like, come on, ref, what are you looking at?
Yeah. And here we go.
Yeah. So what would you be looking to do here, Jester? Would you be looking to score quick and just get it over with, or would you try and grind, regardless of which team you are?
I would just try to score quick. Well, without being risky. I'd play very high percentage plays.
I agree.
You got the time. It's first score wins it.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't wait till like turn 22 and up.
So again, with Tector's setup, man, you just those dang zombies. Those dang zombies. I mean,
I get that he can move the zombies from one side of the field to the other, adjusting it.
No, right. So put them up a square and put them, make 4 zombies together, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and then, why not? I don't know. What would have happened had a blitz off event been called?
It's all working for Tector brilliantly. Maybe he knows something we don't know about zombies. He's protecting them. He's dodging with them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This is true.
This is very true. Maybe I'm the dunce that knows nothing.
They're like the star players at the moment, dodging everything. I'm sure they got elf blood in them.
Right.
Maybe they were elves.
Yeah, had to be.
Fair enough. But like Tector said, and then like you mentioned also, Jester, everything seems to be working for him. So hey, look, continue to go with what works, right?
Well, if he plays all that against me in the future, definitely keep doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wish he did this against me. Semi-salty, just a tad.
Look, I just came out of one murdering that Tector gave me with his rats against my gobbos, so...
Oh, but come on, rats and gobbos, of course. If you don't murder them, then if you don't murder the gobbos, then something went wrong. And
so one of those usual then.
I'm just bitter that he took out 3 of my tomb guards in 3 turns in the opening drive. It basically destroyed me. Yeah, it was rough.
Well, but you repaid him, in spades this next season, though. I saw the rematch of that game, and
I know.
You may have heard him for the rest of the season.
Yes. And I didn't apologise either, actually. I had to explain to him it was just payback and life's a bitch. But he took it well.
That's
He's a
Blood
good
Bowl.
sport. Yeah.
Well, this is good. Okay, so Bubs' defense is a little bit better. He's got a few safeties back. He can respond to where he needs to go. I like that.
Yeah, he's not overcommitted.
Dang. See, dang holes, but look at that. Look at all those 3 6s on that sequence. That's a good.
That's brutal.
So on that failed, I don't know that I would have burnt another reroll there. He's got a pretty good screen on the failed pickup. I think I would have just maybe left that alone. Because he wasn't going to really improve his position too much more other than just securing the ball. And that may be enough.
You got to think if you're Bubs now, you've got to attack the ball a bit.
You've got to be aggressive. I don't know that I would have re-rolled that.
Gotta kill those zombies.
Yeah, I wouldn't have re-rolled that at all.
He's committing a lot of players to those dang those flesh golems again.
Yeah.
But I do like the aggressive 2 GFI to mark the ball. That's good. And then put some other players in the way, start marking up. I do like it. But yeah, this should be fairly routine for Tector to get around. Minor. And even still, even if he were to turn over here, he still has a player on the ball. I don't like this. I don't like that first blitz. What if that would have been a skull? You know, you always have to plan for the worst. I mean, it worked out for him. Great. Wonderful. But dodge. That's great. I can't take anything away from it. Look, everything's working. I would continue to do it.
It's a good KO. Needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad he's pulling people back. He's started to get way too shallow. Well, he killed one there. I'd like to see a bit more. Oh, that's a big hit. Needed, as in KO of the golem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big. That's 2 KOs in one turn. Could potentially be what Bubs needs. And he's got safeties. That was a good turn for him. Good turn for Bubs. However, I probably would have continued to man mark everyone and just left that wolf down there at the bottom alone. Just, not made it more difficult for Bubs to screen like he's going to do right now. But as long as everything works out, Bubs can reshift some of his players and crash that screen, as well as put a defense in front of the screen.
Yes.
That
I
goal
like
is
that
perfectly
Bubs.
placed.
Well, I like that Bubs is moving all his players first before
Yeah,
taking the risky plays.
definitely like that. Yeah. It's a shame that he couldn't knock down the wolf, but I think that
Or
that
even
both
even
downs.
drive it to the sideline for the Penguins.
Yeah.
The zombies are coming through with the goods.
Oh my god.
Oh, you've got to love that. You've got to love that some coaches are just, man, one dive blocks and they live to get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
So
We
good.
finally paid.
About time.
Yeah.
Every A9 coach, AV9 coach cheers a little bit when a wolf goes down like that.
Especially on a failed one dive block. That's just like, oh, thank you.
Yes.
So you got to make Tector roll as many dice as he can now. He's got 0 re-rolls.
Absolutely. Like that happened at the best possible time. I mean, he's got a free hit on the ball and 2 re-rolls. I mean, unless his dice go south, but he can still pin that golem against the ghoul. Oh, 2 pushes. Oh, but he can still pin him.
Yeah. Well, he's pinned to the sideline. Yeah.
I think with that thrower, since I still had. Oh, worst. I mean, I don't know that Dub Skulls ever come at a good time, but that's just unfortunate. It's a tricky spot now.
Oh, some one dice blocks. Oh my god.
And that's game.
Oh wow! Look, sometimes.
Yep.
The meat puppets started out with hot dice, and they just continued throughout the whole match. Big Red Machine.
I think we all learnt something today. Zombies OP. Nerf zombies, please, Cyanide.
Oh yeah. Zombies are probably the best players on the field. They can dodge, they can do everything.
Wow.
Who needs blocking? You know? Block's overrated.
What a game, guys. So, Meat Puppets beat the Big Red Machine and becomes the first champ in the UBC. So, we gotta
I
see.
will have my revenge.
Gotta see where it goes from here. For anybody interested in knowing more about the UBC, you guys gotta search on Iron Phoenix. There'll be a link down in the description. Come over and say hi to us. We have tons of different leagues outside of UBC even. We got beginner leagues, middle league, high TV leagues. We got random skill level leagues. We're probably going to start back up the cripple league again. You gotta come see it out. Amazing coaches, amazing mentors. You're welcome anytime. Thank you guys for your commentaries. As always, you guys are so knowledgeable, and hopefully we can do this very soon again.
Anytime.
Yep. Thanks.
Take care. See you soon.